Very good morning to children of 12 arts after a long time again. And via the Ananda Varta, I have completed, this is, as I've told you previously, there are two books. One is Politics in India Since Independence. Another book is Contemporary World Politics. And from the Contemporary World Politics, I have taught you the part on Cold War era. That chapter has been completed. With regard to this book, Politics in India Since Independence, the first chapter, that is Challenges of Nation Building, it has been completed. Second chapter I had started, that means era of one-party dominance. But as per the syllabus which has been sent by the CBSE recently, I have seen that the second chapter has been kept excluded for the time being. So I am not going to complete that chapter or restart with that chapter, that is the second chapter, that is era one-party dominance. I will not do that. I will straight away come to the third chapter. This is the third chapter from the book on Politics in India Since Independence, and it is Politics of Planned Development. From the name of the chapter, you can understand that this chapter deals with what is development, not what is development, that what should be the development model in India after independence, soon after independence, or soon after a democratic government is formed. Now here, when I was teaching you chapter 1, I told you that India had three challenges before it, challenges or goals, whatever you can call it. One was building India as a united country. Second one was conducting democratic elections in the country, and the third one was development of the people of the country. So the three chapters, the names of the three chapters, it is very suggestive. It is very relevant. That means the first chapter we have seen that how after independence, how it was a difficult task for putting up all the princely states of India together and to form India what we see now. Then the second chapter was conducting democratic elections, and there I have given you one example. I have given you a bit of data there when I have started with the chapter that the first democratic elections in India started somewhere around November 1951, and it completed by 1952. And it is for this reason it is known as the democratic elections of 1952. And as I've told you that for the first time the Independent Election Commission was formed in India, and it was on January 1950, and Sukumar Sen was the first Chief Election Commissioner of India. And elections took place, and during elections for the first time India started with universal adult franchise, which I've told you it was known to be the biggest gamble in history of India. And after that the elections results came out, we saw that the Congress party has won with a huge majority, and the Congress party had formed the government. Okay. And not only it was in the election of 1952, also in the elections of 1957, also in the elections of 1962, you will come to see that the Congress government winning consecutively. Clear? So the three elections, that means for the straight 15 years, the Congress party was there. That means from 1952 to 1957, 1957 to 1962, and then from 1962 then again to 1967. You will find that in these three consecutive elections, the Congress party was always in a majority. And the third chapter which I am going to teach about is the development of the people. That means from the challenges itself, you can see that the name of the chapter is very, very suggestive. So, India became independent, 1952, first democratic government formed in India. Then Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He became the first Prime Minister with Dr. Rajendra Prasad becoming the president. Now the task of forming the government was over. Now the main emphasis of the government was in bringing about development of the country. Now the biggest question came up that which form of development should India follow? Whether they should follow the US model, which is of capitalist model, or the USSR model, which is actually socialist model. Capitalist means what? Capitalist means what? Where the capital or the resources of the country will be in the hands of few people, that is those who are known as the capitalist groups. And socialist means that the resources will be in the hands of the government and would be available to all. So these were the two models of development which India had before it. Which one to follow? To follow the capitalist models. Capitalists are big groups of industrialists. They are not government, they are private. For example, in India you have the Tatas, the Ambanis, they are all capitalist groups. Clear? So here what happens? The resource, capital means money, resources means all the infrastructural resources, whatever. They are in the hands of the few people, and the few people have given you the example like the big industrialist groups you have in India or abroad, whoever they are. So USA follows this capitalist model, whereas USSR is a thoroughly socialist country which believes that all the resources or the capital of the country should be in the hands of the government so that all can enjoy it. So which model should India follow? India, what it did, it did not go for any one model. So what it did, it came to a mixture of both this. It went for a mixed model. It went for a mixed model of development, taking in points from both the two models of development which had been followed in USA and USSR, which means that certain sectors were given to the private sectors and certain sectors were taken up by the government. So India thought that it was best to go for a mixed model of development. So India chose for a mixture of both the models and it followed the developmental goals which it had followed. Now here, with regard to development, India followed a 5-year program, and this plan was taken from USSR. 5-year plan. That means developmental objectives will be taken up for a period of 5 years. So for the first 5-year plan, it started from 1952 to 1957. And what was the focus of this first 5-year plan? Development in agriculture. We know that India is basically an agricultural country. So agriculture was made the first focus of development. So we know that all the nearly 80% of the people of India are directly or indirectly related with agriculture. So the first 5-year plan included development in the agricultural sector, which included all the benefits. That means providing better, all agricultural facilities to be provided by the government for the development in the agricultural sector. So it was thoroughly agrarian in nature, thoroughly agrarian in nature. The second 5-year plan. It took place from, now here, this plan, its main focus was on development of industries. And this second 5-year plan was thoroughly socialist in nature. Socialist in nature means, as I've told you, that means all industries were given to the government sector. All industrial development had taken place in the, industrial development has taken place in the government sector. This second 5-year plan, you know, it was thoroughly socialist in nature, because as I've told you before, a socialist state believes that all the resources and capital of the country must be in the hands of the government, because if it is in the hands of the government, government means public sector. Government means public sector. If it is in the hands of the public sector, what will happen? Then everybody will get it uniformly. So this second 5-year plan, it started with 1957, ended up in 1962, and this development of industries, you know, and this included development of all government industries, all heavy industries which were very heavy in manufacturing heavy products, medium scale industries, big scale in the large scale industries, all these sectors. And it was during this period you see that industries like railways, then iron and steel, then electricity, these industries had made a huge progress, because you know that these industries that directly fall under the government sector, that is the public sector. You know, and during the second 5-year plan, the public sector was the private sector, that is the capitalist groups were given, but they were given other industries. But the major development was focused on the development of the public sector industries, and it was here at this juncture that India made huge progress in industries like this. So the second 5-year plan was thoroughly based on the development of industries, and it followed the socialist model. But you know, this second 5-year plan was highly criticized. Highly criticized. Why was it criticized? Because many of them, they thought that India is basically an agricultural country. So instead of investing in industries, which is very cost effective, it would have been rather better that more of emphasis would have been given to industries which are directly based on agriculture, especially and this, you know, this second 5-year plan was made under the leadership of Mahalanobis. This was the person who has actually designed this second 5-year plan. And many people, like you have heard, very big great leaders like who were contemporary, one Kumararangpa of one political leader, then you have Chaudhary Charan Singh. They were all against the model of the second 5-year plan, because they thought that this because you know, when you are putting up an industry, it is much more cost effective than you bring about development in the country. And it was during this second 5-year plan, you know, there was huge food crisis. Why? Because agriculture was not given that attention. Production of food is very, very important in a country where there is a huge population like India, where majority of the people are lying under the poverty line. So during the second 5-year plan, when the government was emphasizing on the development of industries, there was a shortage of food, and so the second 5-year plan was put under huge criticisms, and many of them, they felt that instead of putting so much of emphasis on the industries, it would have been better that if India would have the government would have concentrated on the development of those industries which would actually benefit agriculture. However, there was another group, those who thought that no, this second 5-year plan was completely all right. Why? Because for rapid development, immediately after the Britishers had gone away, India was at a very horrible state of economy. So at this moment, what would happen, you know, only if you want to bring about rapid development, only industrialization could have done it. So there was a mixed view with regard to the second 5-year plan. So today I will end up with this part. You will have to see the models of development which had followed, and the next day when I meet, I will again discuss with the remaining part of the chapter. Thank you very much.